This is NDTV, and you're watching Classics.
The acid attack on two young girls in Andhra Pradesh about 2 weeks ago and the subsequent killing of 3 accused youth by the police has raised some serious issues that are proving to be an acid test to society. Who do we blame for such increasing instances of heinous crimes? Do we need a new law to protect ourselves? Can we do something before it is too late? These are some of the issues we examine in this special report, Acid Test.
मैंने कहा बाबा जी अगर मेरी आंखें सही नहीं होंगी तो मैं ना घर वापस आऊंगी, मैं बिल्कुल भी नहीं जीना चाहती। पापा जी तो ऊपर भी नहीं आ पाते मुझे देख नहीं पाते हो।
Renu's life reduced to tears. In 2006, Tennant threw acid on her face. Her crime, turning down his marriage proposal. And now the news of a similar attack on 2 students in Hyderabad has left her traumatized.
कांपने लग जाती हूँ मैं कि अब भी ऐसा हो रहा है तो कैसा, क्योंकि जी मेरे साथ ऐसा हो चुका है, मुझे पता है कैसा लगता है उस टाइम।
A railway employee, her father has sold his property, taken loans for her treatment, but it hasn't been enough.
अगर सरकार कुछ मदद कर दे तो जीवन जो हो थोड़ा बच्ची का मतलब सफल हो जाए कुछ।
ठीक है तो मैं
Renu's world is now confined to this room. The guilt of being unable to shoulder the responsibilities of the house the way she used to do have added to her trauma.
मम्मी के बाद इन्होंने ही संभाला है हमें। जी अब ऐसी हो गई हैं, दिखता नहीं, एक जगह बैठी रहती हैं, अब बेसहारा है, हमें करना पड़ता है उल्टा उनका कि पढ़ाई छोड़नी पड़ी।
अब ये बोलते हैं कि बहुत ज़्यादा हीरोइन समझती थी ना, अब ऐसा हो गया, अच्छा हो गया। तुझे क्यों बोलते हैं ऐसा? मैं ये कहना चाहती हूँ।
Social activists and politicians like Brinda Karat are fighting to help the acid attack victims.
It's a very, very difficult situation. Once a girl has had acid thrown on her, then what happens? She becomes a forgotten person. And I have seen so many bright, beautiful faces which have been just so destroyed by this horror of these attacks. And really, what happens to these young women? How do they live their lives? It kills you, but you're still breathing, but what your life becomes after that. They are forgotten, basically. So what I believe is important, obviously nothing can compensate what she loses, but if she survives that dreadful attack, then how the medical system can help her, how financially she is to be helped. And I believe that it is important to set up a fund.
Worse, there is no comprehensive law to deal with acid attacks. The Law Commission has now made some recommendations. A separate section in the Indian Penal Code to deal with acid attacks on the lines of rape cases, which would mean faster trials and less evidence. A rehabilitation scheme, treatment is promised to the victims, and that acid should not be easily available.
If the laws are made stronger and implemented, many such victims can be helped.
Until then, victims like Renu will continue to fight, hoping against hope. With Rajat Kane and camera person N. Ravi, Aanchal Vora for NDTV.
Men who can't take no for an answer. Psychologists say individuals who resort to such crimes usually have personality traits that are often visible from early childhood. Parents would do well to recognize such behavior patterns and get help before it is too late. Srinivas, engineering college dropout, main accused who plotted acid attack. Sanjay and Harikrishna, undergraduate college students who helped Srinivas. Hours before being killed, the accused said they had plotted the attack for 1 month. Srinivas said he practiced throwing water on a doll 17 times over 10 days to get an accurate throw and cause maximum damage. Srinivas' father disowned him and even refused to take his son's body for last rites.
When they are look little abnormal, the parents should also take some steps to monitor their behavior, show them the psychiatrist, do something.
Parents of Swapnika, who suffered 55% fourth-degree burns, said they empathize with the parents of the accused, but say there is a lesson there for other parents.
మదర్ ఫాదర్ది 50% ఉంటుందండి. మదర్ ఫాదర్ది మనం పిల్లలు ఏం చేస్తుంది అన్నది కొంచెం మనకు తెలుస్తుంది. ఒక్కసారి తప్పు చేస్తే రెండోసారి సపోర్ట్ ఇవ్వద్దండి.
Parental intervention to monitor the activities of youth and stop them from taking a road to nowhere. How critical could that be in minimizing acts of violence? We asked well-known psychiatrist Dr. Gauri Devi whether there are warning signals that one can get from the personality profile of such youth.
See, they are most demanding and they are selfish, self-centered. They want all the wishes to be fulfilled immediately. They go for immediate gratification. And when the gratification is not fulfilled, they resort to this kind of acts. And when their wishes are not fulfilled, they develop extreme anger, hatred, and they would like to ruin the life of somebody else. It could be psychological. Like we hear quite a few people resorting to sending bad messages or sending bad letters and defame them.
Behavior patterns and habits get set over time. The earlier the intervention, the better.
It's a behavior pattern that I demand, I cry, scream, I threaten, I get. So this becomes a part of their personality trait. So when parents identify such kind of behaviors, like children resorting to violence on other children or parents breaking articles and sulky for their wishes not being fulfilled, I think it's a time the parents take them to a psychologist wherein we need to go for behavioral modification, like a limit setting of their behavior. So where to draw a limit of their behaviors, how far the parent should accept, and how the child should develop frustration tolerance, and it's not being screened or identified, or if accepted also, never go to psychiatrist. So when the behavior becomes very strong, in the sense he's throwing tantrums and he's destructive and attacking the parents or attacking other people, then only they realize that it's a problem. Then it will be generally too late.
Some people argue that the two largest influences on a criminal are often beyond his control, societal and congenital. So what's needed is not just punishment but also rehabilitation. But what happened in Warangal recently when the 3 accused were shot dead has raised very serious questions about which way we are headed. Shibani was attacked with acid last Friday because she complained to her parents and others that her classmate at a coaching college in Patna was making advances. News from Andhra Pradesh just a week ago that 3 youth who attacked young girls with acid were shot dead does not seem to have deterred Mayank. Shibani is in hospital, not knowing if life will ever be the same again. Mayank is in jail facing charges. The maximum sentence he may face is life imprisonment or a few years in jail, whereas Shivani will probably feel the pain every time she looks into the mirror, that is, if she regains vision.
As long as you believe that punitive therapeutics is the only answer to law and order, society will only come back at you with more and more crime. Society creates crime, criminals commit it. We need to understand this.
The acid attack on 2 final-year engineering students in Warangal town of Andhra Pradesh on December 10 provoked sharp reactions. There was shock and public outrage. 2 days later, the 3 accused were shot dead by the police, but the voices of protest were limited mostly to human rights activists. This former DGP called it poetic and natural justice, saying they were pathological killers who deserved no kindness or latitude.
What they have done, right or wrong, legal or illegal, one thing, it goes right across a message to the people that you're going to do something and there is going to be a nemesis in one way or the other.
But the question is, can the rule of law and legal procedure be overruled by public opinion?
Blood for blood, an eye for an eye. That is something we need to cure ourselves of. And that is something that is deeply troubling. It's carrying on the whole. That more and more we are getting into this state of total paranoia, where we feel this kind of killing and more police power is what is needed.
Only in a barbaric society do you punish without due process. To me, due process is too dear and I won't give it up at any cost. Understand, a man who kills 10 people a man who participates in an anti-national terrorist activity. Even he has the right to be heard.
Human rights activists point out that though this is the first time an acid attack accused has been killed in this manner, encounter killings of Maoists and other alleged anti-social elements is not new.
The police has been getting away with this encounter. Every time you do have an encounter, you are rewarded. So there is a kind of a premium put on killing. There should be an inquiry against them, they should be suspended, they should be punished.
They always suspect the bona fides of policemen, and that is demoralizing the entire police force in this country.
The political establishment, both the ruling party and the opposition, have not made the killing a point of debate or inquiry.
Encounters are not going to solve the problem. We have to look at it in a different way, where exactly the mistake lies. Why such incidents are happening repeatedly in Andhra Pradesh?
Ultimately, people who matter, that matters. People what they majority, that's what prevails.
With Ajay Singh in Patna, Uma Sudhir, NDTV.